So I recently went to Japan and decided to vlog, kind of. The ideal was to actually vlog, but then when I got there, I kind of didn't want to. Instead, I just took a lot of videos and pictures. So I decided instead, let's narrate it. Since I'm not good at drawing, can't animate it, so I decided just to narrate this whole thing. Well, let's get going then. To kick off day one, we arrived at the airport. The first flight wasn't as bad as the second flight. As soon as we landed, it was like, oh hey, your flight's canceled. But once we got to the customer service thing, it wasn't canceled, it was just delayed. Then we waited for like 2 hours, and then the plane showed up, got on, started to rain, and like, hey, we're going to have to wait till the rain pass. Waited another 2 hours, and then we flown 12 hours of flying, whatever. We was on the plane for 12 hours, and once we landed, I was exhausted. We went through all the customs, all that stuff. We were done. Well, at least on the plus side, at the airport, they had the Nintendo thing set up. They had like Mario and stuff, like traveling stuff. That was kind of cool. But alright, once we figured all that stuff, we found our first train. Luckily, that train in that video there was just a point A to point B. I think it was called the Skyliner, I think. It'd be easy. Right, that one was like the most easy one to figure out. The other one, on the other hand, was kind of, well, the main one that we used for like the next 3 days, or kind of confusing. And like every other like vlog video I've seen, people using the train, they also get confused. The best way to describe it, this picture, each one of those stops is a stop. You just have to get off the one that leads to where you are. We didn't know how that worked, and we got on and off the wrong stop multiple times. Eventually someone said, hey, go on this one, get off of this one, and we did. Then we spent like 30 minutes looking for where our hotel was. Eventually we found it. We checked in, and I instantly was exhausted because I was carrying around a suitcase and a backpack. And the rare footage of what I actually look like, because no one knows. But yep, there I am, dead. Oh no. But afterwards, once we got our energy, we decided, oh yeah, I forgot I took a picture of a random cockroach in the hotel building. Also, I found anime on TV, which was funny. It means nothing. Just like, ha, anime. Alright, yeah, we decided to walk around, and this is how most of my footage starts, because I'm looking at my phone, pushing record, and it's me looking at the ground. Hence why I stopped doing these vlog things, because I suck at them, and I just didn't want to get people's faces. But then after watching all the people's vlogs, I realized that people still show people's faces. I don't know. So yeah, also vending machines, the greatest thing ever. There was one in every corner, and as soon as I got back into the States, I was like, I wish there was a vending machine. We just walked around a hotel area for like an hour, just kind of, I don't know what was going on. There's a lot of people though. It was kind of packed. I think there was a festival or something going on, because during the train it was crowded. First snack of the trip, which, by the way, that's mainly all I ate, was just junk food, and that's it. But that's pretty much it for day one. Didn't really do a lot. It was just walking and exploring. But the next day is the big one. Day two, we are heading towards the performance center. This is the first time I didn't film the ground, but it wasn't for that long because I don't really record that often. But anyway, on the way there, we did get lost, and it was so hot out that I had to go to the convenience store, and if it wasn't obvious, I don't really speak Japanese. So my friend who does know bought his stuff, left, went outside, and I was in there by myself buying stuff, and he's like saying stuff. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Then eventually I realized I was short 60 cents and bought it, but kind of sucks. Right, when we arrived to the mall that had all this thing that had this Shin Chin promotion thing, which was really kind of cool. Didn't stay and explore more about that, but it's just this giant robot thing. That was cool. Went to the One Piece shop. Didn't really buy much of anything here because I'm not the biggest fan of One Piece. Saw this Pikachu Sweets. Didn't try it, but I saw my boy Gulpin up there, and I was like, is there a Gulpin base deck by any chance? Again, didn't went to it. The line was long and just didn't care. But we found a lot of these Pokemon statue things around. I thought was interesting. I gotta get the fire starters because represent fire Pokemon. I like them. But eventually made it into the Pokemon Center. A lot of the pictures are like this, where like the main focus, like the Miraidon, is out of the center because there's people who like the left or right. And I didn't want to get them in frame. But had a lot of Pokemon stuff. Well, of course, it's Pokemon Center. And well, here's the thing. They have a sign that says do not film, but it also says unless it's just the product. But it's at the very end of the store, which I don't get why. Because by the time I got to the end, it's like, oh yeah, not supposed to do it. I'm like, how was I supposed to know? Yeah, I had a lot of plushes. I end up only getting 2 things here in total. I wish I got more, but I didn't have that much space to bring back. I end up getting what was it? Yeah, some of these pictures I took were just thing. But the thing I did get, I got this sleeping Gengar. It was a gift for my moderator, and the reason I got it is because a joke or inside joke between that's in the streams. But yeah, I'm not going to show the clip. I was, but she doesn't want it to be on there, so I'm not going to show it. But yeah, I got this for her, and then there was a Vileplume Erica Gloom model kit. Yeah, and I bought that because Vileplume is one of my favorite Pokemon, so I was like, I have to get it. I was hoping to get a Vileplume plush, but didn't. I was also looking for Pokemon cards, which is one of the big things I came here for, was to get a 151 set and the Ruler Black Flame or Obsidian Flame set, but they were all sold out everywhere, and every card shop I went to closed. So eventually we went through that, and after we got down to the Pokemon Center, our goal was to head back to the hotel to drop everything off. So that's what we ended up doing. We started walking back. I think on the way back, nothing interesting happened. I'm trying to remember. This is one downside of waiting too long to do it. I'm starting to lose the small details. But I don't think there was anything. Most of the things I remember, I used to remember, but they're not important. But we did head back, drop off all the stuff, and we tried to figure out what we were going to do for the second half, because we had a lot of things planned, but we didn't do it. It was super hot, so I ended up getting some wafer ice cream thing. By the way, like I said, I ate nothing but junk food because they're in the convenience stores or in the vending machine, and you don't have to talk to people, so great. I also saw Naruto again because, well, an anime was something about. Then eventually I had to hit another Pokemon Center because I personally wanted that, so we ended up going towards the Sky Tree, and of course getting lost on the train. Oh, now I do remember something on the way back. I'll get into that later. But yeah, we went to the Sky Tree, looked around. I saw this view, and I was like, man, seeing all these buildings like lit up and stuff is kind of cool. Since I don't live in a city or anything, I don't really get to see that often. I thought it was kind of cool. But something I do remember happening on the way back from the first trip is I typed in Shibuya Hotel, and not Shinjuku, and so we got on the off the wrong stop. Again, I saw the Kirby Cafe, didn't go to it, the gift shop, and it's out of frame because there was someone literally to the left of that picture, or was it right? I think it's left. And yeah, could have bought something there, but again, I wanted to spend money, but I didn't because also made the mistake is I pulled out $500 of 500 yen, and most of the things I wanted are only $8, and I was only gonna buy that one thing in the shop, which made it difficult for me to actually buy stuff because I don't want to give them $100 for an $8 product. Anyway, when I got back home, home to hotel, I had again candy and a melon flavored Fanta, which actually was really good. And that's pretty much it for day 2. I don't think there's any more that happened. I just stayed in bed and eventually fell asleep, and I guess it's storming out. That was random, but anyway, that's it for day 2. Nothing else happens. Day 3 was our last full day to do anything. Yeah, we were only here for 3 days. Spending $2,000 for 3 days was not the greatest idea. But anyway, we went to Akihabara. Anyway, we went to this thing. At the bottom floor, it was nothing but like electronics and like phone cases and stuff. And I was like, oh, this is kind of. But as we kept going up different floors, closed, we eventually found the toy aisle, which had like video games, toys, and stuff like that. Saw all these cool things, that Pokemon plushes. I still was searching for Pokemon cards. They had them, but they didn't have packs. They only had like the starter deck. More Kirby stuff, which again, I show a lot of Kirby stuff, but I don't really like Kirby that much. A lot of these things I would love to buy. They had some Xenoblade stuff, but I think they only had Shala for like this sort of thing. Shala's not my favorite character. But saw some Warhammer stuff. I'm not the biggest fan of Warhammers, but my friends are, and I just took them and sent them to like the Discord, like, hey, look, there's Warhammer stuff here, which makes sense. It's probably popular in some, I don't know. But anyway, I was gonna buy something, but then they left, and I had to search up and down the store just to find them, and they were back in the anime thing. But anyway, we have, I think it's takoyaki. Didn't really eat it, but it was there. Found an arcade, which, okay, we're in Akihabara, so that makes sense. And on that floor, there was some things. We found this JoJo thing, which is really cool. So I decided to record my actual first time playing this game. So that's why you have this full footage of me playing the game. And I'll let you guys watch it, so I can be quiet now. Yeah, really fun game. I would love to play it some more. I played like 2 matches. Of course, they were against the AI because not that much people there. It was fun. And on that same floor, they had like a lot of the rhythm game. They had that drum game. I think my moderator was telling me about. I was like, oh yeah, you should play this drum game. It was there. I just didn't play it. And then one floor up, there was like gacha on things. And I did one because my sister likes Hello Kitty. They had a Hello Kitty one, so I was like, okay, I'll just do that. And yeah, see, that was one of the problems I had. A lot of things I wanted to buy, I didn't buy because I didn't have that much room in my suitcase. Oddly enough, in my suitcase, 2 of the things were mine. The rest of it, the stuff in there, were for my friends, so they can bring this stuff back. And I was like, I could have bought so much more things, but I just didn't. But it's not the end of the world. Next time I go, definitely going to. While we were in Akihabara, I did search around a little bit more and found a couple more cool things. We found some card shops, and of course the Pokemon card session was closed off because it only open on Sundays. Unfortunately, it was Monday. I was just like, I just can't get any cards here apparently. Walked around a little bit more, and yeah, this was the card shop. We just went down one floor, and I was like, hey, look, this is the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Master one. Woohoo! Where's my Pokemon? Wandered around Akihabara a little bit more. Found this thing, just took a random picture because I have a lot of stuff. Went into a couple arcades and stuff, and there's just claw machines and stuff. There's a shop that's, I think, more to the left of that picture called Melon Books. I had no clue what it was. Walked in, just normal anime stuff. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Anime stuff. Walked up to one floor. It was still anime, but it was adult anime stuff. Just adult 18 plus stuff everywhere. We saw another foreigner group come up. They walked up, took one look, walked straight back down. And after a while, we just left. I'm like, there's nothing in there I would ever want to buy. But eventually, we found an arcade. We played like a lot of fighting games. I love fighting games, and there was this Dragon Ball fighting games, and we played it. My friend's playing Trunks, and I'm playing Android 17. Again, the clip. Enjoy it. And yeah, there's a ton of fighting games. That's why it's gonna get like, I think, one more clip because it's another game we played. They had Street Fighter, the Gundam fighting games, Multi Blood, Guilty Gear, a ton of fighting games, and it was like, this is what I was searching for. I wanted to go to an arcade with fighting games. There's quite a few people, and again, we walked down to a different counter, and it's like mainly a lot of just rhythm games. And then it's like, hey, by the way, don't record in here. And I'm like, why? Okay, lightning. But I'm like, why is this not at the front door? So I could be like, okay, do not record in here. But again, then it says, unless it's your own stuff. I was like, okay. But after walking around a little bit, we did end up finding a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and a Tatsunoko vs. Capcom machine, which I thought was super cool. Also had, I think, the Street Fighter vs. X-Men, which I didn't play because one downside about playing these arcade machines is you play them and you have to go through the whole arcade, and I don't really care to play arcade mode. So like I was paid a coin, like I think it was just $1 to play one round, do two arcade runs, and I'm like, well, runs like 2 fights, and I'm like, I'm done. I'd rather just fight someone else. So yeah. Of course, of all times I choose to record this, it starts lightning, so, and I don't want to delay this any further, so I'm going to keep that in the background because unprofessional. Alright, here's a clip of me and my friend playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It's all in Japanese, I don't know what the shit is.
It's just insane, like, yeah, TehCrono, fucking rival school, king of fighters everywhere. Fucking do it.
Alright, so that's that for the Marvel clip. Anyway, I do own a physical copy of Marvel 2, so if I ever want to play it, I can play it whenever, but it was cool to play that. But anyway, after that, we got on, we head back to the train and left. Didn't buy anything. They bought a couple things, and I was like, man, I need to really buy something. And I still didn't. I just ended up with those last 3 things I bought. Anyway, after a while, we decided our next stop was to go to another Pokemon Center, see if I could find one last chance to find the stuff I need. On the way there, or to the train station, we saw a shrine, which was cool, but we do that later. And we made it to Shibuya, which this is Shibuya Crossing. Probably know from media and some games or whatever. That big square. Yeah. So anyway, once we got there, we switched around for something to eat. We found a ramen shop. I got this rice with, I think it's like a fish thing on top. I enjoyed it. The reason I didn't want to get ramen was because you kind of have to, you don't, well, kind of rude not to eat everything. So I wanted something small and light that I can possibly just eat. And if I don't like it, I can just force myself to eat it. This looked small enough. I enjoyed it. And then when I got to the seaweed, I was like, oh, yeah. So I did probably the worst thing. I put it in my mouth, kept it in there. Once we left, went to the nearest trash can and spit it out. Could have just easily just left it there and said I just couldn't eat it. But it is what it is. Anyway, we started wandering around. And upon wandering towards our destination, I saw a post, like a little sign. And I thought it was funny because just before the trip, I told someone, like, this one song stuck in my head, and it was 7. And I just saw this and I started laughing. I'm like, of course, I can't escape it. Anyway, we made it to the Pokemon Center. They have this cool Mewtwo thing. At the Skytree one, they had Mewtwo, but I didn't get anything from that one. Walked around and didn't find anything. On the way back, we didn't do anything else. We just left. And on the way back to the hotel, we saw that Loader Festival. So, like, something must have been going on a couple days ago. Had more ice cream. And that's it for day 3. We just ended there. Nothing major. So, that's it. The final day was a sad day because we woke up at 10 o'clock and we had like 3 hours to do anything before we get to our flight. So we wandered around. We went to the shrine, which was like probably like a 10-minute walk to from where our hotel was. And we took a whole bunch of photos. And again, once you get to the top, it says don't take photos. But I think it's only for that area. But down at the bottom of the stairs you can. So I just took a lot of photos of the shrine because it was cool. I didn't pray. My friends did. I just kind of was there. Not because I didn't want to. I just didn't want to. I would have, but there was just kind of a lot of people there. Actually, no, it wasn't. There was like 3 people. What I'm talking about. Anyway, we found this one shop that's like a used thing that had like used built Gundams. I found a pack of 151s, but I didn't know if that was for sale or not. And I also found a whole bunch of Pokemon cards. And I'm like, of course, I find the stuff at the very last day, but they didn't have what I wanted. And I didn't know if that booster box was for sale. Again, more Warhammer stuff. But then they had like 64 Game Boy Advance games and all that for sale. And I was like, this is what I was looking for. But we found it at the very last day. But at least we know where it is. If we go again, it's there. Anyway, we get back to the hotel, grab all the stuff, check out the hotel, and on the way back, it actually started to rain. And I was just sitting on the train, just looking at this. I was like, man, I'm going to miss this place. I was only there for 3 days because we got there the 29th and we left on the 1st. And since you technically time travel, it was a cool one, but this drive home, I was like, man, I want to miss this place. And as soon as I arrived in America, just nothing but rude people. I'm like, gotta hate this country. No, I'm just kidding. Every place has its plus and negatives, but After the train ride, we head to the hotel, not hotel, the airport, boarded it, and that was our final goodbye in Japan. And that's it. That's all the pictures. Again, this whole commentary thing wasn't really planned. I did not plan this thing properly, but aside from that, a couple things that it didn't record, but I do notice it happened. I remember this one time, I think it was when I was going to Akihabara, I just saw two people either hung over as hell or something. They were just in the middle of the street, just couldn't move. And I was like, I hope they're okay. Then when we came back, it wasn't there. But there's a lot of stuff I do want to do in the future in this place, and I do plan on going back. I think I want to try going in spring when the cherry blossoms bloom. So either in 8 months of next year, I might try going again, or October of next year, because basically my boss, is going to Japan for a whole month, or 2 weeks, I think, and it cost him half of what I paid just for a round trip. And I was like, yeah, probably should have just done that first trip. And I'm also going to learn the language. So next time I go, I'll take more photos and probably better vlog. But this was just kind of something to do because people wanted me to take photos and videos, and this is kind of really, yeah, not really good, but I tried my best. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys around. Follow me on twitch.tv because I stream almost every day. I haven't streamed for the last couple of days. I've been working on getting this stuff done. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys later.